So the second Bledisloe Cup test match is just around the corner. This one being played in New Zealand on Saturday afternoon. And the All Blacks, they have just announced their side that will be taking on the Australians. Now the Wallabies went quite early with their announcement a few hours ago. The All Blacks just announced theirs. And there are of course quite a few changes here. Some of them slightly surprising, but we will get to that in a very short moment. But looking through at the starting lineup, number 1, Tamaiti Williams, number 2, Samisoni Taukei'aho, and number 3, Nepo Laulala. So 3 changes from what they had in Bledisloe Cup match 1, with Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor, and Tyrell Lomax all being rested for this week. In the locking duo, this was probably where there was a little bit more of a surprise. Number 4, Brodie Retallick, and number 5, Sam Whitelock. So going with a huge amount of experience. Whitelock just returning from his injury, so it makes sense that he gets the opportunity here up against Australia. I think the Retallick starting was the one that not too many people were expecting in the loose forward trio. Big opportunity for this youngster at number 6. It will be Samapeni Finau making his All Blacks debut. He's been phenomenal for the Chiefs in Super Rugby Pacific, and it's great to see that he gets that opportunity. Number 7. They have gone with Sam Cane. He is the captain. He also had a little bit of a neck injury, so it's great to see that it was nothing too serious. And now he is back out in the starting side. And at number 8, they've gone with a lot of experience, a lot of physicality here. It is Ardie Savea. Looking through now at the backline, number 9. Massive start here. It will be Finlay Christie. Now playing in Dunedin, we knew they were going to have Aaron Smith somewhere, but instead Smith gets that opportunity late in the game, coming off the bench at number 21. And number 10, they've gone back to Damian McKenzie. It was going to be the case of him and Mo'unga switching around at fly half throughout the season. This game, McKenzie gets the nod. Number 11, a return from injury with Lester Whainānuku. Going to be great to see if he is able to pick up that momentum that he sustained throughout the Super Rugby Pacific competition. He was scoring tries for fun, breaking tackles, causing problems for the defence. He's going head-to-head with a strong player in Mark Nawanga-Netawasi. So that will be a great one to watch. In the centres, it is Anton Lienert-Brown at number 12. And then at number 13, Braden Ennor. So 2 changes from what we saw last week up against the Wallabies. Number 14, a debut that a lot of people have wanted to see for a long time. And that is Sean Stevenson. He was travelling with the squad as injury cover. Now gets that opportunity to show what he can do. Standout player for the Chiefs throughout Super Rugby Pacific. Now up against the Australians, gets his chance before the squad naming for the World Cup on Monday. So there's a lot of pressure on him. He will be determined though to put on a good showing here. And then at number 15, transitioning from that right wing last week, now putting on the 15 jersey, it is going to be Will Jordan. But looking through at the bench, number 16, Dane Coles, number 17, Ofa Toangawhasi, and number 18, the first time for this Rugby Championship, we are going to get to see Fletcher Null, recently returned from an injury. Hopefully he is 100%. He's got a real good chance of making it to that World Cup if he can stay match fit. Number 19, Tupavai, and number 20, they have gone with Luke Jacobson. Then in the back replacements, Aaron Smith. It is going to be his last game on New Zealand soil for the All Blacks, so a massive send-off for him in Dunedin. Sure, he's going to get a huge round of applause when he makes his way out onto the field. Number 22, they have gone with Richie Mo'unga as the fly half replacement for Damian McKenzie. And then at number 23, another debut for the ABs. They have gone with Dallas McLeod. So that is the starting lineup and reserves for the All Blacks. Now we look through at the Wallabies. And I have to say, it's a completely different tactic from the Wallabies than what we saw for the All Blacks here. Seeing as the All Blacks were 1 up, they could afford to make a whole heap of changes, giving a few other players those opportunities. For the Wallabies, they've gone with a pretty similar lineup to what we did see in Bledisloe match 1, trying to build up that chemistry as they move closer to the Rugby World Cup. But at number 1, it is Angus Bell. Number 2, Dave Parecki. And number 3, it is Pone Fa'amasili. Unfortunately, last week, we did see 2 injuries at tight head prop. One for Alan Alaratoa and one for Tani Alatupo. So due to that, they've actually had to make 2 changes at 3 and 18. In the locking duo, it will be Nick Frost at number 4 and Richie Arnold slotting in as the number 5. Tom Hooper starts at 6. He was playing 7 last week, so transitioning back to blindside flanker. Number 7, they have gone with Fraser McWright, who I did actually expect to see in the starting lineup for the Wallabies last week. Due to that ability of being able to turn over the ball in the breakdown, gets his opportunity for this game up against the ABs. And then at number 8, they have gone with Rob Valetini. So for another week, we get to see the Valetini versus Savia battle that everyone absolutely loves to see. But looking through at the backline will be captain at number 9, Tate McDermott. Gets himself the start once more, but this time has captaining responsibilities. Number 10, they have stuck with the same fly half, and Carter Gordon was getting put under a lot of pressure last week up against the All Blacks. Had a few good moments scattered in there though. Eddie Jones has decided to stick with him. Number 11, Marika Korombedi, bringing the physicality of this rugby championship. Him versus Sean Stevenson. Going to be very intriguing to see what kind of way that goes. I know that last week with Will Jordan, it seemed to be Will Jordan who managed to get the better of that head-to-head. In this game up against Marika Korombedi, I think Sean Stevenson's really going to be tested, but I believe that that's what he would have wanted. Someone who is going to put him on the back foot if he does anything wrong, just to really show how strong he can be. Number 12, they have stuck with Samu Karevi, with number 13 being Jordan Pattaya, so unchanged from what we saw in the first Bledisloe test. Number 14, it is Mark Nwanganitawasi, who I mentioned just a little bit earlier on, will be going head-to-head with Lester Whainaunuku. And then at number 15, to close out the starting lineup for the Australians, unchanged from the last game, it is Andrew Callaway. But looking through at the bench, number 16, Jordan Ulesi, number 17, James Slipper, so a lot of experience there. And then at number 18, Zane Ungor, who's only had his debut of the Rugby Championship a bit earlier on. But now with those injuries, has a massive opportunity to step up here. Number 19, it is Will Skelton. Now, he has started all 3 matches of the Rugby Championship. Now that we're outside of that, we're into the warm-up games for the Rugby World Cup and also the second Bledisloe Cup test. They have decided to see what kind of impact he can make when coming off the bench. Number 20, Rob Leota. Number 21, Nick White. 22, Quade Cooper. And 23, Isaiah Perezi. So to be honest, other than injuries and perhaps a little bit of a reshuffle in a few of the forwards, it is a very similar Wallabies side to what we saw in the first game. For the All Blacks making wholesale changes, that will either backfire or it can work in their favour. It's going to be a very exciting game. It's kicking off at 2:35 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, New Zealand time. We will be covering it on the channel, so be sure to check that out as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these 2 lineups and who you think will be taking out the victory. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.